Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo. Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Tokwe. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. I've been suffering stuffy nose for a few days and decided to do something about it. I'm grateful to God for life. I'm grateful to God for my Facebook community. I have to do a special shout out to them. And then we have a fan that lives in the US. Oops, I've forgotten his name right now. But he called me yesterday and it was like after watching our last Friday show, he called his sister. And that he's also from a polygamous home. And that he watched the show and he just felt like he should do something. He's not the oldest, but he's actively now trying to bring people back together, and that it was very impactful. What we're doing is huge, that he just wants to pray God continue to bless us. And I just wanted you ladies to know that there's impact to what we're doing, and it was very humbling, and I was just like, thank you, thank God, you know.
I mean, a lot of people make calls. I got people send me messages that they also were pushed to make a few calls just to check up on family, connect, and just start the conversation. Listen, these things always start with one step, first step. So I'm happy that many people are taking advantage of that. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. We're still on our self-love challenge, and I'm just so happy with the response.
Turn out.
I mean, it's been quite encouraging. Many people are, happy that they're participating, that it's making them just take some time to reflect. And so for today, because it's a 15-day, so every week a 5-day challenge. So for today, it's call someone who brings you joy.
Aww.
Be with the person. Either you call the person, you text the person, hang out with the person, plan a date with the person. But it has to be a person that gives you joy and spend some time in that person's presence. So that's what we're doing for today.
Interesting. Nice. Yeah. I like that. I have to think about it. Who's that person that gives you that lights you up? Interesting. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Taking it one day at a time. I have a lot on my table, but I can't just be bothered. Like, when you have a lot of work and you see the work and you see that you're supposed to move, but sometimes the body just needs to take it one day at a time. So that's what I'm doing. So this weekend, I'm going to be doing the movies. I have a couple of movies that are dropping at the cinema that I'll be doing from tonight.
I haven't been to the cinema in forever.
I take my time out now. I go.
Since the lockdown, many people haven't really gone back.
The cinema is every day we watch series. So we started with The Crown, we've done Bridgerton. Now we're just going one by one. I don't know much about the British monarchy. So I now took our time.
It's been informative, Abby.
It's really interesting. Gets a lot of information. So I mean, I'm enjoying it. We're going to be watching quite a few, several.
Also, I shouldn't do this shout out, but my kids stumbled on one YouTube channel, and I think that it is something everybody should introduce their kids to. It's called Bright Lights. It is extremely informative. It just asks them questions, and then
YouTube channel?
Yes, it's a YouTube channel, and we spent hours. Like my data has finished, but we enjoyed it. It was informative. Countries, the world, paying attention. So it will tell you this and this. Which one is different, and then you have to spot the difference, and it's really engaging the children. So
I think it's something. Do they have adverts pop up? Because I'm really weary about adverts popping up when kids are engaged.
You have to run off. But
no, it's good. It's actually really good content.
I have to say that when we talked about the chicken yesterday, I finally used one from the farm chili sauce. The one, chili farm sauce. The one in the jars.
Yes.
Have you tried it?
Amazing.
No, I haven't opened mine.
I didn't get.
Fantastic.
Chili farm sauce.
Okay. So you guys should get your chili. Let us know what it looks like.
And grilled it.
Okay, so it's already like spiced already. So you just put it around your chicken and then
grill.
Yeah. Very nice.
I'll try it this weekend.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Send us the...
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Oh. Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with The Nation.
Good news.
Morayo. CBN, states must start paying $2.1 billion budget support loan.
From where?
Killing of soldiers, attacks on worry governors. Buhari to Inspector General, don't fail Nigeria's president back. Government to place sugar, wheat on forex restriction. Gunmen posing as burial party kill 3 policemen at checkpoint. And Lagos begins construction of Agbado Marina rail line. Okay, which story are we taking?
I got the Eboyin story where 3 policemen were killed at a police checkpoint. So this group of people pretended to be on their way to a funeral. There were like 2 motorcycles in front and 3 tricycles, 2 Sienna cars. They pretended that they were on their way to a funeral. Right. They got at the police checkpoint. The police stopped them. They came out and just shot at the police at the checkpoint. The colleagues that heard, you know, what happened ran towards them, not realizing that the kekes that were leaving were part of the shooting. They got to a place, they burnt down the police car that was there. Another policeman was there, shot that one. It just seems very strange that it seems policemen and security operatives are being targeted in the southeast. The spokesperson for the police command says that on April 8th, there was a shootout between bandits and gunmen and police officers. And they demobilized 2 out of 7 of the attackers. So they feel that this was some sort of reprisal attack, that's why this may have happened. But it just seems quite like they're being targeted in the southeast.
And I'm really worried why you will be targeting security personnel, people who are supposed to be protecting the lives and properties of citizens. It's very painful. But let me take the story of the governors. They have said that the Governors Forum, Nigerian Governors Forum, have said that they are worried about the spate of killings across the states. I think in Benue State, 11 soldiers were killed, and also the correctional center that was attacked recently in Owerri, Imo State. So they had a meeting yesterday, and they are trying to find a way to evaluate the security apparatus and see how they can come in. They want to evaluate it, profess solutions that will help them, you know, curb this rising insecurity in the country. They are also going to be talking about the plan to handle the, you know, the judicial workers are on strike. So they had said they were going to discuss and see how they can carry out the legislative order, executive order that was given by the president, to see how they can give them their financial autonomy. They are not going to be releasing any information about it till they have met with them, hopefully tomorrow.
Quickly taking the
Lagos State. We'll talk about CBN. CBN, I think, is also one of the major headline.
No, not that. Governor Emefiele has said that they will be moving the wheat and sugar into the Forex exclusive list. Currently, we're still spending $1 billion annually importing sugar into Nigeria. And after he inspected 60,000 hectares of sugar plantation that is being built by Dangote, a $500 million sugar plantation in Nasarawa State. The Nasarawa State governor was there, Aliko Dangote himself was there, as well as Governor Emefiele. Said he has never seen anything of this size in Nigeria, and it is in line with Nigeria's plan to consume what it is. Consume what it's producing, and so that very soon they will be including sugar in our exclusive lists for Forex. So those that want to import sugar will not be able to import it into the country. Everybody will be forced to buy it locally. I'm excited about that prospect.
All right, let's move on now to The Punch. Killer fruit juice kind of confirms 10 dead, 400 hospitalized. Lagos Cross River, Sokoto, 1 residents. Lagos begins construction of 37-kilometer rail mass transit. Suspected herdsmen kill another Ibarapa farmer in Oyo. Controversial payment, ARCCG petitioner apologizes as Fashola faces Senate, Nigeria laments as officials, racketeers exploit passport applicants. Buhari returns from his 15-day UK medical sojourn.
Welcome back.
And 9 power plants shut. FG apologizes for outages. And Nigeria exact crude oil production volume unknown, says Nati. Okay.
The major headline.
Yes,
so 10 people sadly have died. They say 50 people are in hospital receiving treatment for kidney-related issues. 400 are hospitalized from consuming an expired citric powdered drink. Now, the story is that there might be a powdered drink, a citric powdered drink that's out there that's expired by a year, and people are taking it. And the state commissioner, this is in Kano State, sorry, I don't know if I mentioned that. So the state commissioner for the state did a short video, telling people that there's this drink, people should be aware look at the dates on it. But, you know, states like Lagos, Cross River states, other states are saying, first of all, do not take anything that does not have the NAFDAC number. But also, it's important that we know the name of the drink so people are aware. So anyway...
Did they mention the name?
No, the name was not mentioned. I checked back and forth. They were not mentioned.
We have the popular citric drink, but this one, we don't know if it is the popular one. We need to be specific so that others can desist from buying it.
So we need to be careful.
All right. Good news for Lagos State. They're actually launching the Red Line and Blue Line. It's a 37-kilometer railroad from Agbado to Marina. And the first phase of the Red Line should start fourth quarter 2022. And there'll be several stations. They said there are 12 proposed stations to cover the, I think I'm trying to list the stations here. I think there'll be Iju, Ikeja, Oshodi, Mushin, Yaba, Oyingbo. And it's quite a number of places. So, I mean, I'm happy that the governor flagged that out. And hopefully that should ease the congestion we see in buses and also traffic across the state.
Morayo, I'm tired of when we celebrate the inauguration. Yes, flag off, because we celebrated under the one for Badagry all the way to Costain. But we haven't seen it till now, and that was done under Fashola's administration. After many years, we still don't see it. So I would like us to make our flag off very low-key, and then we can now be explosive with our celebration of when the project is finished.
Makes sense.
Human interest?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, so suspected Fulani herdsmen killed a 56-year-old farmer, Muftai Babarinde, on his way back from the farm, I think 7 p.m. on Wednesday. But residents are saying that they are actually suspecting the warlord is Wakili, yes, that his aides are actually behind the attack. And they are asking, the residents are saying that killings are still going on in Ibarapa, and the government is not doing anything about it. And it's going to get to a time where they will take the dead bodies of their people to the governor's house so that he will know that people are dying in the states. I think they should look into that.
I have to run on a break, but I have to, this story is not anywhere else. RCCG took the Minister of Works to court, and according to them, the church had actually built a certain road in Ifewara, in Osun State, and they had actually given a contractor money for that same road. So they're saying if anybody needs to be paid for that road, it's us, because we're the one that put the work in. But then the honorable minister said that the contractor, the contractor that they're talking about actually got the contract many years ago, 2010, and they didn't do the job, obviously, but they were paying them in bits and pieces. So that contract was based, the payment was based on the contract that was given in 2010, not the one the RCCG was referring to that was between 2016 and 2018, that there are two different contracts. But the point is that
let the court decide.
The Fashola will be facing the Senate to defend that transaction. Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we move on to Daily Sun. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Right, we'll start with Daily Sun. Government officials behind kidnapping Otom, says Otom. Ohaneze wants federal government, don't push Nigeria to break up. Governors condemn attacks on security formations in Imo and Benue. CBN admits printing money for loan to states to pay salaries. Okorocha battles EFCC, secures administrative bail, and Sanwo-Olu flags of the Red Line Rail project. Okay, which story are we taking?
I could do the major story.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, so the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, yesterday had revealed that bandits were operating in at least 24 out of the 36 states in the Federation. And if nothing is done about this, we may likely have food crisis. And he said one of the ways that we can solve this problem is to institute ranching for the headers, because it seems like headers are just moving into territories that are not originally theirs, and that most of these headers are even foreigners who came from other lands. And the governors need to work together hand in hand. That he also suspects that most of the headers are machineries that were used by governors for elections. At the end of the day, they are the ones who are causing all of this mayhem. And we need to work hand in hand to ensure that this doesn't work. But for that ranching, if we want to solve the issues of headers and farmers, we need to adopt ranching like every other part of the world is.
Okay. Which of that story in Daily Sun? Who read the Ohaneze? Nobody read that story. Okay,
I was tired of it.
Let's move on to
Tribune. There are plenty stories.
CBN admits that they printed.
Oh yes, so the CBN governor, Governor Mili, on Thursday clarified the government's printing of naira simply meant loan advance to states to pay salaries and survive, and not the literal interpretation of printing money from factory and sharing to public. So he's wondering why controversies print around it. So he didn't say we printed 60 billion. He said that they printed money to give as loan to from back channel, But let me just take that story properly because it's also in Tribune. But let me just take it now since we're already talking about it. Governor Obaseki has already said that the country is in major crisis and that the government needs to stop playing ostrich about the situation. That the ostrich is like we're just hiding. This issue is ongoing. The government is not encouraging infrastructural development. He said 50 to 60 billion to top up for us to share. This April, we'll be going to Abuja and share again. By the end of this year, our total borrowing will be between 15 to 16 trillion naira. That's from Governor Obaseki. Is restating it, that he stands by what he said before. He's not backtracking. We have a challenge economically, and we need to solve the problem.
Okay, moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Obaseki to FG, monetary rascality must be stopped. Angry residents kill 30 bandits in Katsina. FG lifts ban on registration of new SIMs. Blackout as 9 power plants break down. IGP disbands special monetary units in Lagos and Port Harcourt. Makinde Bode George Olualabi fault Fayoshe on Southwest PDP Congress. Ganduje reconciles Dangote and Boa, an APC registration exercise. Why we consider appeal committee, says Buni. Right, which story?
So the power plants. Okay. So the Minister for Power, Sally Norman, has apologized for why we do not have electricity, and he says it's because we have some of our power plants have just broken down. And also he mentioned that the Jeba power plant has also been is undergoing the annual maintenance that usually happens, and also some of the power plants he mentions are experiencing shortages in gas, in gas, you understand? And so that's why we have all this. But the federal government, the government is working assiduously to make sure that they take us back to how things were historically and even better. So that is what we're waiting for. So I know many Nigerians have been experiencing the power shortages, and this is the explanation why.
So Ganduje, the governor of Kano State, in conjunction with the renowned business mogul Alhaji Aminu Dantata and the Kano State Emirates and the Kano Council of Imams have had a meeting at the Kano Governor's Lounge at Lodge at Asokoro, Abuja, to resolve the issues between BUA, that is the chairman of BUA, Abdusamad Isiaka Rabiu, and Aliko Dangote. The crisis had been on concerning the sugar issue, and I've taken the story over and over again. But now they said they've had this meeting, a press release was done, that they are now on good terms. The businesses have been reconciled, and I'm happy to see the way a bit of policy making and the government is trying to keep businesses from fighting each other and then work together to society succeed. Please let me quickly take the inflation story.
Well, I was going to take the SIM registration because a lot of that is affected by this.
Yes.
So finally, the federal government has lifted that ban, saying that especially many people were trying to register for SIMs, but they couldn't do that because they hadn't gotten their NIN, and so the federal government had banned it. But now you can actually get your SIM, but you must have an NIN number before you can be given a new SIM. So they've lifted the ban pretty much.
So inflation. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics have released details on the inflation of this country, and we have hit another milestone, 18.17%.
Yeah.
We have been rising. They said the challenge of food,
that's worrisome,
is not transient. Like, we have been consistently increasing our cost of food in this country. Wow. All the economic indices is showing worrisome trends, and that buttresses what the Governor Obaseki is saying, that the Nigerian economy, the minister should not play ostrich with the situation. So the challenge is, one, the insecurity in this country is affecting agricultural sector. People are not going to the farms. Food prices have increased because food production has become more expensive. Transportation of foods have become more expensive. And the ones being imported, dollar has made them more expensive. So on all fronts, everything is increasing the cost of living in Nigeria, and we are not doing anything economically to address it. He said the funds they have given to the agri sector, the intervention funds that was given to agri sector, that's 1.4 trillion agri sector intervention fund, is not adequate to solve the problem. It's very, very minute as compared to what is going on. So insecurity, dealing with insecurity is number one. Balancing our forex, the difference between our official rate and our black market rate needs to be done for us to concisely deal with the inflation we're facing. I'm waiting for the minister.
Moving on to Vanguard.
So
Insecurity service chiefs know what's wrong, says Buhari. And our president is back, as we already said. 8 power plants down. Minister apologizes. Lai Mohammed blames Nigerians on Twitter's decision to locate African headquarters in Ghana. Acting IGP disbands police monitoring units in Lagos and Port Harcourt. 7.9 billion naira cash EFCC grants Okorocha bill. And March FAQ draws more controversy as fresh facts emerge. You see which story are you taking there?
Yes, so the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, yesterday was blaming Nigerians for Twitter's decision to go to Ghana instead of Nigeria. And he was saying that that was not a market-based decision because in Nigeria we have 25 million Twitter users, while in Ghana it's about 8 million. But he went there because Nigerians have aided people to feel that it's worse that we portray. So we pick up a situation, especially with the NSAS, and then we throw it out of proportion, making the world feel that worse things are happening in the country. And it's on us as Nigerians. We are supposed to be protecting ourselves. We're supposed to, he's not saying we shouldn't judge what is happening, what the government is doing, but we should be fair and patriotic to enable people come in and invest in our country. So the fault is ours, and we, especially people in the media, should pay attention to how we portray the country for investors.
Hi, this
I
is
sort of
hot
agree
topic.
a little bit.
It's a hot topic.
I sort of agree a little bit.
At least they have power.
Yeah.
At least they are not kidnapping at the rate with which they are kidnapping in Nigeria.
But there's a way
It's
you
a hot
present,
topic.
because the truth is, in every country, they have their issues. They have their problems. America does not tell us exactly what they're going through.
You said these are people that do their market research. They don't need you to portray or not portray.
Exactly.
They check the numbers.
They check the numbers. They want peace. They want ease of doing business.
Let us not make it a hot topic. Make it a hot topic and shut down this house. Let us stay in our lane.
Honestly.
Today's Friday.
Daily trust, yes. So, 10-month pay delay threatens border security operations. Gunmen disguised as mourners kill 3 policemen in a Boeing.
Oh my God.
Let's find it. So we've not taken. How acting IGP Usman Baba was appointed, says Buhari. So our president was saying that. Did you hear that story?
No.
Okay, so I was going to say that our president was, when he returned, he was interviewed. And he said that, listen, the new acting IGP is somebody who's been in the system for a while, and he knows what's going on, so he trusts that he's doing his best, and his best will be good enough to at least to compel all that we've been seeing concerning insecurity. And he's saying that... I think that's pretty much what he said.
I have the major headline.
Please.
And it's security operatives personnel with joint border drill operation. It's an interagency operation that was put together to help. You remember when we had to close all the borders in order to stop, that's in 2020, right? If I'm not mistaken, we closed the borders. And so this particular operation was put together. And after the borders were opened, they were renamed Joint Border Patrol. And really, it's for them just to survey our borders, keep our borders safe, especially from smuggling and things like that. But they have been complaining that it's been 10 months since they got paid.
Wow.
That even from the very beginning, they've always been paid in arrears, 2-3 months arrears. But last year, for the whole year, nothing, and now it's been 10 months. They haven't been paid. And it's, of course... their morale, of course, is squashed. They are unable to pay for food. They are owing food vendors.
So why won't they harass people that are coming into the country?
They are owing landlords, that they are even put in such a vulnerable position that they are looking to, they will be looking to compromise. So please,
so that they can survive.
They've spoken to the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry
Morayo.
of Finance is supposed to be the person in charge of this. They've written to the Ministry of Finance 3 times. They haven't heard anything. Please,
we have to run over. I need to redress the issue concerning the RCCG. So what happened is that the RCCG was apologizing to the ministry because what they had raised a false claim. So what happened when the minister appeared in the front of the Senate, he was able to say very clearly what happened. So according to the Senate, what was then agreed was that there was no proof to support the position that any unjust claim was made by the contractor or paid by the ministry, and that this person in particular was the contractor in question was paid for a 2011 job in accordance with the provisions of the Public Procurement Mobilization Act. And there is no basis of this position that actually RCCG should have just written directly to the House, not making it a big issue such that they have to now summon the minister to the Senate, that it was not... it was taken out of proportion. So RCG has apologized. I have been corrected.
Yeah, I like the apology part, and I like that
they raised the issue.
Yeah, so I like that they raised the issue, because it has now taught, it's teaching some of us that, okay, so we can ask them to come and answer some questions,
But it's taxpayers' money you're wasting when you do that, too, because you have to...
Yeah, but sometimes it's good to know that you can ask, you can ask some questions and you ask them. It's not wasted. It's information that is...
All right, we have to run. We don't have a lot of time. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, move on to our topics for the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Ministry of Culture and Tourism, in conjunction with Ebony Life Plays, organized Eco-Star Film and TV Awards honoring talented female pioneers who called the shots in the growing Nigerian film industry. However, Ruth Kadiri did not receive any award, and she took to Instagram to say her piece while tagging the organizers of the award event. According to her, she wasn't given any award despite her efforts because she doesn't belong to the clique. Now, our conversation is not so much about that. It's more about cliques. Generally, when awards happen, when events happen, people say, oh, how come XYZ was not honored because, oh, she's not part of this clique? And people's response in this kind of situation, what were your thoughts when you read her message? And especially because I know everyone have actually since responded and said, listen, it's impossible to honor everybody at the same time. Definitely, this is the very first, and there'll be more going forward. But what do you make of the response and when you read this tweet? Mariam, want to start?
Okay, yeah. So when I first read it, two things. First of all is that why don't you just give enough time for those who have been recognized to enjoy it and celebrate with them before you talk about what could have been when it comes to you? I'm just that sort of person. I mean, give people their time, let them enjoy it, be there. I also understand her pain. I really don't know her very much, but from what I've seen and read, they say she's very hardworking and she's made a huge impact. And the good thing about what she did is that she called out the person who she felt, she tagged the person. Normally people would give you this kind of backhanded, back talk, like there are some people, they know themselves, who is this about? But I like that. I always appreciate honest conversations when you can come and meet someone and say, this is what you did to me and I'm unhappy about it. Then you give the other person an opportunity to tell you what may have happened. And if the person is wrong, the person will apologize. And if there's something that the person needs to do better, for you to understand, you understand that. But I also think that we have to also understand that it's important to celebrate each other. Sometimes it's not your turn. Does not mean that if you take away the shine from that. I felt like it was taking a shine from a successful event, an event that honored your colleagues and honored your workers. You should have just used that time to talk, to praise them, although she did as well, but that wasn't the time for me, in my opinion, wasn't the time for that.
Yeah, I think when it comes to working and expecting awards, I think we should try as much as possible to limit our expectations so that we don't hurt ourselves. I remember being a gospel artist at some point, and I would go for award, and I watch people get awards, and I'll ask myself, when will it ever get to my turn? When will it come to me? But there was something I learned early because of the sort of experience. I started entertainment really young, and I had been to competitions, I'd been to performances and all of that. But I started building in myself that ability to work without hoping or waiting on for any recognition whatsoever. So if it comes as a surprise. And I also worked with the intention that there's an adage in my place that says, "Milimadugala amadapuanaka," meaning that the water you are meant to drink, nobody can take it from you. So when it's time for you, even if they miss your name, somebody will mistakenly put the name, not realizing they had put your name. So when I saw the tweet and I read the conversation, I was like, I think we need to start building in ourselves the ability to focus on our work, irrespective of any recognition, whether it comes or not. It doesn't stop you from working hard. It doesn't stop you from being excellent. It doesn't stop you from, putting in your best. When your time comes, you will be recognized. Absolutely. And once we have that, it's easier for us to celebrate other people, having it at the back of their minds that it's their turn and they should be celebrated.
Okay, so for me, I agree with your last statement, and I don't think that her complaints divulge the fact that she's confident enough in herself and her work. And I think it is the level of confidence she has in her work that will make her question that statement. I have seen her work. I won't call myself, I'm a fan, but I've seen her work. I've seen her shoot while pregnant. I've seen her put consistent work out there. And I believe that there is a level of confidence that will make you feel, I see the people you have awarded. I know some of them genuinely deserve it. But I know that some other people that got it haven't done half of a pinch of what I've done in this industry. And the only reason they're there is because of the relationship and the clique they are in. And I think that we need to come to the point where we can call out these things when we see them without being the fear of being judged. You can call out an award. A lot of black people started getting Oscars because they called out the Oscars. They called out the Grammys that I have done more work than these people. Why are they getting the Oscars and getting the Grammys? We need to fight for ourselves when we feel like we are not being recognized for the effort we have done, especially when you've done the effort. So the commission is not about her effort. She's done her work. So she's saying that if you are celebrating people in this industry and if you left it among a certain class, she probably wouldn't complain. But even when I saw some names and I was like, okay. So there are people that there's no controversy. These are the dons. They are the mamas and babas of these entertainment industries. But they also added a few young bloods. So she had a right I feel she has a right to ask. And I'm happy that Ebony Life responded. So I don't think she should be bashed for or be seen as she's lobbying or
so I think
we should
that's what Mariam had said earlier. Honest conversations are important. They are healthy in any way. I know when we started this show, we're doing a lot of groundwork, but nobody knew us. Nobody even saw. We're winking in the dark for many years. And people will be coming to me and say, Morayo, apply for this now. Let people know to go out, do photo shoots. Let's put your view out there. And I said, no. We will wait. We will continue to do the work ground up and gradually when that time comes, people will see it. I don't need to push out that I am here because there have been awards in the past where they will mention TV shows. Nobody even mentions your view in any shape or fashion. And you're thinking,
and the ratings shows.
And the ratings show that we are the ones that everybody's watching. But we don't go out and we don't call them out because not because we don't have to or we don't have the right to. Or we will choose when just like you said, when your time comes, nothing can stop you. It will come. So there's always that two side of demand it or wait. And I was watching The Crown. That's my new look now. Where I think it was the king before he died. When somebody wanted to become prime minister, the one that was there before, when Winston Churchill was the prime minister, he went to the king and said, please put a word in for me. He said, Uncle, take your time. When is your turn? Don't lobby for it. When your time comes, they'll look for you. Yeah. So as much as I agree with you, there's some times where you need to demand things, but sometimes stay gracefully where you are. When that time comes, you're
let me just quickly say something. Sometimes when we protest, it's not really for ourselves. You see,
other people.
Yes, most of those that protest are not the ones that enjoy the benefit. They get bashed. Standard. If you look at those that are what do you call them, advocates and protest people that are pushing against the norm, they tend to get bashed. They don't really get the praise. But what they do is to provoke the institution to pay attention to those they will not face. So on a normal day, these awards will probably continue to go to, because we know the industry has cliques everywhere. And there are people that are not cliquish. They will never be cliquish. Sometimes
what
Morayo has said,
no. What BC has said is that regardless of the clique,
yes, it will come to you.
Even if it doesn't come to you, you've grown. Just imagine there's no award.
Yes.
You're not doing it for recognition.
Just
you don't do the work.
So I wanted to respond to Tokbe to say that, sometimes we see ourselves and we judge ourselves based on our standards. And other people see us and they have their standards. Now, if an organization decides to put up an award, I want to believe that they are sincere in the standards that they have set. They could have looked at those standards to say, okay, we're going to be doing this every year. So these are the people we're taking for this year. For next year, this is the next list. For next year, and you challenging because you feel you have put in the work. What if some people on that panel list just feel, okay, well, I don't see the work that she's putting in. So it's their award, first of all. It's their criteria, first of all. It's their standard. No matter how you feel about it, you're not the one in position to judge yourself. So that's why I say, when it comes to working, and you people always on this table, I think I'm the only one that's even different. You people always say, do not blow your trumpet. So you requesting for it is blowing your trumpet, putting yourself in a position that I know how hard I work. Yeah, she does. I work hard, and so I must be recognized. That's you blowing your trumpet, and you people are usually against it here.
When we come back, we will continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still talking about issues of cliques, awards, events, and waiting your turn. I mean, I remember there was an event by the same organizers that I was nominated for some years ago. And it was a category that I was so sure that belonged to Your View because of the work we'd done. I remember that day very clearly. And there were three of us in that category. And it was very clear that these guys, nobody even knew these people, And I went there that day. And I sat down in the hall at a hotel. And I sat down, and of course, I was on call, for Your View. And it didn't affect me. I just knew it wasn't time. And I left. I wasn't emotional. I didn't weep over it. I just said, it's not yet time. Because when that time comes,
nothing can stop you.
So there's an argument for that. Yeah. And there's that other argument that not because of you, but because of people coming behind you. Make sure those who are giving recognitions are fair. They're being fair.
Let them know that there's someone watching.
Yes.
So, in my opinion, it's not, and I'm not someone that believes that, you should be canvassing, but I believe you should ask. I believe in life, you never know. You make assumptions. Many times we are assuming negatively, like, if they'll see me one kind, they'll see me that way, they'll see me. People project their insecurities, and I feel like, just ask. Whatever you want, demand the universe,
So we should be thanking Ruth for raising this issue.
Yes. Well, so because now the organizers know
that people are watching.
People are not just watching the categories, they are monitoring who gets what, and they would ask questions, or even if they don't ask it. Because if we leave anything unchecked, people can abuse power. Power must be checked. So if you are an organization, a neutral body, organizing and recognizing an industry, and we just leave you to decide for a long time. And I'll go back to because we tend to refer to them, Hollywood, that. It's important that we see what they did and copyright, and let the equity in what we're doing.
Are you done now?
No, let this Mariam.
So, one thing I would like for the conversation that we should have really is also commend Noah Budu and the organizers of this event, the maiden edition. Remember, this is the first time people sat down and decided we need to do this. Some of the people that were recognized, I was proud to see that they're recognized in their lifetime. Because Nigeria, we have that thing where we recognize people only when they have left.
Sure.
So I really would prefer the conversations to be quite positive towards the people who have organized this.
Yeah.
Now, secondly, why I agree that conversations like the one Ruth Kadri brought is important to have, even though I'm not a fan of the time that she brought it up, is that in everything that you do, there must be a balance. It is important to know that not everyone can be recognized on one particular show or 1 year. you know, every time there's someone new, there's something new, there's always your turn, it will show. But let us not pay too much attention on the negatives. Do you understand what I mean? Because we sometimes in our conversations, in our trying to understand things better, we concentrate so much on the negative, we cloud the positives that come out of this. So there's this particular veteran that I saw, she danced, and I was really, truly happy for her. You know, that she was there and she was being celebrated so openly. So yes, like I said,
let me tell you what happened on that. I mean, I'm happy that even one of the other recipients of the awards is in the building with us. So she was giving her speech. And you know when she's very graceful. So she's speaking, and there were lots of talks in the room. And she said, please keep quiet. I'm trying to get my words across. And she kept speaking, and there were still talks. After she shouted, keep quiet! Everybody just froze. Mommy is talking. Yeah. They kept quiet till she finished. And that speech was long. But we said, okay, so Mommy, let her finish. And she took her time. Yeah. Like, let me take Solomon. Solomon's holding. Are you there, Solomon?
Yes,
you're live. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. This is Solomon.
Yes.
I've been working at program markets today, but subsequent.
I can't hear. It's muffled. I sincerely apologize, Solomon. It's muffled. Let's talk about the clique. Because they don't have much time.
People say that let God fight for you. That's our culture here. You know, we tend to we defer to God, but God will not do what He has given you the power to do for yourself. There are some things that God has given you capacity to speak up for yourself. Do what you can do and let God do the rest. So for some people, by nature, doing what they can do is continue to excellently deliver as in like amazing work up until the recognition. For some, it will be, I want to shout and protest and raise placard and do whatever it is. The point is, God, we have the capacity. Do the one that suits your personality. And don't let anybody talk you into saying, oh, this person, you should don't fight for yourself. Let God fight for you. And the ones that are speaking out say, don't speak up. Let everybody be able to fully express who they are wired to be.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're pointing.
I wanted to say for the cliques, we can't do without having cliques.
Exactly.
In every organization, there are people you are more comfortable working with. If you set up your own stuff now, there are people you know that you've worked with before. They did not give you a lot of stress. You will have, even if you say I'm not a clique person, you have people that you can easily call for jobs to be done, and then it comes across as they know their people. But what I want to advise, because I see a lot of their movies in the cinema, and I see them, you know, using the same faces, the same people over and over in their movies. I would like them to give other people a chance. So even if you have, you know, your people that you can call, sometimes you keep them and grow new faces. We're all trying to grow this industry. Don't just make it about, I must have this person, so and so people in this particular project, and every project you have those, revolve those people around. Share it, you know, just make it go
sometimes somehow. I always have a problem with that, where we tell people how to build their brand, or what they should add or should not add, who should be asked to join their table. I always feel that, you know, there comes a time where it should not be about getting a seat at their table. Is about making your own table. Do you understand?
No, that one is
if their brand and their type is that there's a particular type that we want, and they do it over and over and over again, good on them. You create your table, and you have your viewers and your followers for, you know, the sort of thing that you do. Because everybody has their style. Hollywood has a style, Nollywood has a style.
Some directors
and then
that's the cliquism we're talking about.
Yeah, so what okay. That's not the cliqueism. I was just saying it's different types. But also talking about clique, I wanted to mention that this lady mentioned clique. She was sure that it was about clique. She may have been wrong. She judged them and she said something. For me, you're not sure. People came and they put down names and they made a decision based on, you know, many factors. To just assume that it was based on clique. And I think...
All right, let me take this call from Justice, our final call on this. Justice, are you there from Turkey?
From Kebbi.
No, from Kebbi. Good morning.
Good morning, Morayo.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to take side with Talkback to some great extent. If you look at what Ruth Kadiri is saying, actually, she's not fighting for herself, so to speak. She's making room for upcoming people, upcoming colleagues in the industry. There are a whole lot of people that are good, so good that they are not being celebrated. Now, if you look at the past that were celebrated, if it is among the older people, fine and good. What about celebrating people that just came into the industry? How do you think people that have contributed more will feel about it? So let us not just bash her, but let us think and see reasons with her, so that this biasness, if there's any at all, we'll put a stop to it.
Thank you very much, Justice. So I think we've all said very important things here. Yes, sometimes you have to wait. Others, speak up if you have to, but don't let us not judge those who are speaking up on our behalf, because, as you said, it's not about them. It's also about those to ensure that there's equity in selection. And but those who have been selected, we celebrate them, and those who are still waiting to be recognized, the time will come. And I think that's the message for today's conversation. Let's go on a break. Our celebrity guest in the building. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So she's a scriptwriter, director, and a producer. She has produced over 30 movies and won awards and nominations, including the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards, AMVCA, for Best Film in 2015 for her movie. Welcome with us, Bjorn How you doing?
Very well, very happy to be here.
Yeah, good to have you. And also congratulations on a co-star.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. It feels good to be heard and to be seen.
Yeah. So before you came on, we're talking about cliques, and so which clique are you that you got the award? Were you the co-star clique, or who do you know? Who do you know there?
Nobody, actually. Wow. I'm a one-woman soldier. So that's why I said in my speech that it felt so good to be seen and to be heard, because, you know, I'm not in any clique. I don't personally know any of the organizers. I got an email inviting me. In fact, the first time they invited me, I said I couldn't come. I was on set. And then, but IJ kept on sending me emails. Please, it would be great for you to come. And gladly, you know, there was a schedule opening and I came. So I was very happy, you know, that, okay, this is my small corner. Somebody seeing me, you know, and appreciating the work. So we are very happy.
But do you think that, I mean, based on what Ruth had said, which we felt that, okay, that's a point where there are some people who are deserving, but unfortunately we're not recognized. How do we reconcile that to make sure that everybody who deserves awards like this are seen? Can there be a system in place where we know them and we see them where they are?
I think that first would be the yardstick and the criteria. Making that open. I mean, everybody has a grudge, even for the AMVCA. There are people who said, oh, this shouldn't have won, you know. So there will always be somebody who disagrees with something. But I would cut a co-star, not because I'm an awardee, but cut them some slack, because that was the debut, really. If they make this mistake again next year, then, you know, we're all going to carry placard.
You know, and that's right, because I'm thinking the integrity and the success of things like this also depends on their integrity. That the participants need to know that this is based on some sort of proper yardstick that's being used, instead of just cliquish. Because if it's cliquish, people would separate themselves from it, and then that would be the end of it. So it's important to them as well to listen to us and make sure that they do it right.
So still, before we move away from cliquism, I know that many actors, especially upcoming actors, feel like they don't get the opportunity because many good directors, producers like you, tend to want to stick with known faces. Like people I know can give me the line that can deliver. What would you say to that, and how would you advise they go about penetrating the industry and getting more high-profile movies?
I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I always say about how a lot of these people because I've been blamed severally, oh, you use the same set of people, but I tell to them, I was the first to use them. So I give them an opportunity, and I feel like, you know, every actor, they are like onions, so you want to peel the necklace to find out what else can this person offer. And then with a lot of so I get a lot of DMs and emails. Oh, I'm an actor. I want to, and I try to give opportunities. I always say to every upcomer, when you have an opportunity. Waka pass.
Kill it.
Anything, kill it. If they say you are cleaning this table, clean it with some swag, something that will make us remember you. Because please remember that, and I want to cast our minds back to Chief Daddy. All Bisola did was wake up. That was all she did. Wake up from sleep. And everybody remembered one human being waking up. Because she did it in such a way that you never forgot that waking up. That was all she had in that. Every other thing, she didn't say a line in the entire Chief Daddy. She didn't have one line. She woke up. So if they say clean something, clean it well. Do it well.
Opportunities.
Do it well so that people will talk about you and people would want to keep working with you.
What would be the best way to reach you? Because if I don't ask this question, people would, like, people reach out to me through DMs, DMs, email, or just wait and watch out for any advert for...
Not just you, generally. There are young people coming into Lagos every day. They want to become this big star. And they don't even know where to start from. Do they go to your Instagram pages or do
they follow directors? Do they follow
producers? Where does the young upcomers start from?
I think that generally, you know, put your work out there, do monologues, and tag as many people as you can. Also, befriend fellow actors so that you can exchange contacts. Because, I mean, we're all here. Somebody has heard about a closed casting somewhere. You know, somebody has heard about an audition somewhere. Some auditions are not made public. So you just want to try and, you know, be in the system and just oscillate, you know, make friends and suck in as much, you know, information, attend workshops. You know, just also build your craft. Because at the end of the day, I want to act. Then you get an opportunity and you mess it up. So be ready for that opportunity. Be ready.
About to go into our gist, so let us should go into our
let's
so we'll pack that because we're going to talk to you about movie industry and all that in a minute. But there was a story that trended a bit that I would like us to talk about. I was a friend of the house, Toyin Abraham. She went on her Instagram page and said that all of us have been bad friends to somebody at one point or the other. So if we avoid and cancel or run away from other people because who they've offended us at one point or the other, how would you have friends? So according to her, what are we complaining about? So let us hear your thoughts on what she said. You can call us on 091-390-76948. You can also tweet us at TVConnect. Please hashtag your TV so we can read your tweets. So it's about the fact that owning up to the fact that we have also been bad friends to people. Because everybody, I have one bad friend like that. I have one bad friend. You yourself, good. We are putting ourselves on the jury box today. That should we judge ourselves? I mean, have we been good friends? And what's a good friend? Who's a good friend?
Yeah. What does it mean to be a good friend? So I had this friend once who always complained that every friend who came around had hurt him. One way or the other, you are always the one they are hurting. They are always breaking his heart. Every time you see him, one other person has done something. In fact, he became a church member, and every church member had done something to him. Anytime you see him, Auntie Kola has done this one, Auntie Dupe has done that one. So one day I asked him, I said, do you think people are treating you this way because of how you are? And he said, no, I cannot. I'm nice. I take care of them. I visit you. When anything is happening, I'm the one that travels. The pastor will nominate me to go and visit. I pay tithe. I pay my offering. I give of myself. I say, calm down. Do you think, because every other person, they have relationships with these people and they do not complain the way you complain. Do you think? So I asked him, go back and ask yourself, you know, more like take a review, a reflection of how you have treated this person. Then ask yourself if you were in that person's shoe, would that person be your friend? Would that person want to be your friend? And when we had the conversation the next time, he now said he noticed that there's something about him that actually drives people away. And I don't want to mention that. And he mentioned it to me and all of that. And I said, I'm glad that you have taken time out to pay attention to know that you have the problem. Now, we're going to solve this problem by being that person that you want
others to be to you.
Want the person to be to you. So you have to put yourself in a position where you are where you are the type of friend that you want to have. So focus on what you can do. But sometimes, Morayo, because we do not see ourselves, we do not pay attention to people who call us out on our goofs. So if you have a friend who constantly tells you, stop what you're doing this, stop what you're doing, before you know it, I don't want to talk to this person again. She's always calling me out. And you do not pay attention to what that person is telling you. You can't grow like that. You are the bad friend that you are saying somebody else is.
Any thoughts on this issue?
Yes, you know, I was just thinking about some of my very good friends, and I noticed that some of my very good friends that I've had for many years that are still very close to me are those who just love me in spite of all my flaws. I have a friend who calls up my mom. She would send her recharge card. They would send things to each other without my knowledge. It would just be something that happened. My mom would just mention, oh, did I tell you, or did you? Or she would be wearing something and she'd be like, you know, mommy sent it to me. I don't do that with her mom. Do you understand? And she still is my friend. I always wonder, what is it about me that she sees? You know, sometimes she'll say, oh, you have been such a great friend. I'm like, Auntie, let me tell you how generous this girl is. When I was in when we were in university, she loves to just shop for bras. Throughout when I knew her, I don't think I ever shopped for bras for myself, because she would go to the market, however little her money is not a problem. She would make sure she gets one for you. She's the sort of person that she notices something about you. She doesn't complain. Not to me. She has never said to me or sat me down to say, you have done this, you've done that. She just does it. Do you understand? I've learned from her. I'm learning from her that, you know, I don't put the expectation now is not on her to be the perfect friend. So me, you know, to be a good friend and then be a good friend to other person. Were you a friend? At all?
I think I've gotten worse over the years. Maybe because of my work, I don't know. But I have just one friend that has survived.
How many years now?
We've been together now for 10 years. And she still told me in January, after this year, I'm done with you.
Oh, my God.
You know, you need to change. I mean, I think I just begged her 2 weeks ago and had to tell everybody, please help me, babe, because, I mean, if she leaves me, that's it. And it's not from a place of, maybe, it's just from me not making time to be there. She doesn't need to see me. She comes to my house, check on my kids. She talks to my children constantly. She calls my husband. She just assumes, and our kids are always like, oh, where is mama? Because our kids call me mama. And they're like, you'll see her on TV, she's working. So for the sake of those kids, I really have to step up. But I've had my fair share of friendships, you know, back then. And I mean, not many of them had turned out well, but I don't hold them accountable. I feel like we both share responsibility of what, and then I just realized that, you know, at the end of the day, you stick with what you know, really, in terms of friendship.
Let me take this call. I'll come to you. Elizabeth, are you there?
Yes, I am.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Can you get the increase the volume, please?
Oh.
Yes, go ahead, Elizabeth. Oh, unfortunately, we lost that call. So, Topa, have you been a good? We know you. I'm a good friend.
Hey, what did you prove that? What did you want to say?
Yeah, because I'm actually not the friendly person.
Yeah, very similar in that.
Yes, I'm not the friendly person. For a long time, when I realized how I'm not that friendly, at the time it was beginning to affect my self-identity as, people, you can be nicer. Look, I keep telling myself, try and be nice. And then my husband is a very, very friendly person. My husband is everybody's friend. Like, literally in the estate I stay, my husband stands, almost everybody that drives past me greets him. So it's like that. So for me, it became a case of, then he would tell me, be nice, Anna, you don't greet people, you don't smile, you don't. So I went through that space of, just, how can you help yourself? You have to be, but I went to the point where I realized that I have my strength, and my strength is, I am your friend in time of need. And I'm the kind of person that if you have a problem and you call me out, do all I can to solve for you. I'm a situational challenge friend. Let me help you achieve this goal. You want to do this one, I will follow you to do it. I will follow you, I should teach you, let me drive you, let's change it to your Instagram page. You know, that's the kind of person I am. So I'm that. But in terms of maintaining that long-term friendship is not a gift for me. And those that have been able to be my friend, they have to just accept that. Don't expect a person to call you to check on you.
And
just be
maintain
checking
you.
on, just check on her and all of that. And I feel blessed to have extremely few of it. But I'm thankful because I think that for me personally, I think your best friend should be your husband. Someone that he's 100% committed to you. And I have that. So at that point, I feel like I'm already blessed. So let me just stay in my cocoon.
Let me go on a break. When we come back, we're going to this issue of friendship. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're talking about being good friends and friendships generally. And during the break, we're talking about the fact that people come across as being bad friends when situations change. So, for example, you and I are best friends. So maybe you're doing so well, and I'm still struggling, and then the levels begin to change. And then, so you find it difficult to share your successes with me because I'm still trying to struggle. And anytime I come to you, I'm constantly lamenting about, oh, this is bad, I lost this, you know. So those things causes a strain on that smooth, same level friendship we had in the beginning. Now, does that make you a bad friend? Because you just don't want to listen to my nagging, you know. I mean, is it that life happens to people? That's what causes this strain in friendship relationship, not because they are really bad people. Because what Tony Abraham is saying that we all of us,
every man we take
things change. Yeah. Somebody gets divorced, somebody loses, becomes a widow, and situations change, and then strains begin to happen in relationships.
But addressing what Tony Abraham said, I think that what she's just saying is admit to yourself that all of us, we all have. Yeah. We are all managing each other in every friendship, in every relationship.
Imperfect.
Everybody is imperfect, and we're managing each other. So don't point fingers because you are carrying your own baggage. But concerning what you said, I think that for me it's just about I don't like downers. I don't like being in an environment that weighs me down. So and one of the things I can't stand is someone that believes there's a spiritual attack. You know, so when you begin to say that whatever is happening to you is spiritual, is spiritual, is spiritual, I can't because for me I feel like take responsibility. Like pray. I pray to God, but you cannot. If you keep thinking, this thing, they have sent something from the village. I can't be around that such people. But if it's someone that just down, we can still lift each other up.
You know, I had a friend once that we became friends based on an incident, not because we grew. See me, I like the kind of friends where we grow together. It's over time. We don't just tomorrow become best friends. That kind of friendship, I don't understand it. Yeah. So I was still trying to struggle to even understand where we are. And suddenly this person wants to, every little thing, they want to buy you this, they want to do in your faces, call you cheap. I had to say, excuse me, calm down. It's not that fast. I mean, I don't. So to the world, oh, I'm a bad person. I was a bad friend, but it was just too fast. I don't understand. It
depends on your kind
of person I am. So I'm not the lovey-dovey kind of person. That's not like my own kind of person. I like to gradually grow. And the friends I have that that I've known them for years. I mean, one of my chief bridesmaids, people that even though we don't see each other all the time, once we talk, it's as if we're there.
Okay, so for me, there are some people I've met. So I work with my intuition most of the time. I take decisions based on how I feel per time. So there are people I've met that we clicked. We went for an audition as young models. We met and we clicked and we became friends. 10, 15 years, we're still friends. Yeah. There are people, I was working as a classroom teacher, and then this lady came in for an audition, and she started, that week she started, we met and we clicked, and we'll be friends now for years.
Obviously, you're a good friend.
Now, I'm a good friend, right?
Yeah. Visit checks some people. Visit came to my house from, like 2 or 3 times, came for my wedding, like she would travel, it's a journey.
Thank you.
She has the ability.
Thank you. So what I do is I ensure that, first of all, even if we click, I'll still pick you. And I pick you based on your energy. So if I feel that you have a clean energy, I would pick you. Now, why I'm picking those 2 scenarios, one was not doing very well. And I had started moving up. So we met when we all started. But you know the way God blesses people differently. I had moved up. My class was a bit higher than her class. But she never for one day complained about her situation. She never for one day grumbled. I get achievements, and she's the first person I'll call to say, this happened to me, and she will pray with me
me. She will be so excited. She will tell everybody. Yeah. She celebrates me. And I was free with her. I never felt her. Is this woman beginning to jealous me? Not for one. And we're still there today. So when an opportunity came for me to do something big for her, I jumped on it because this has been my go-to person, irrespective of the fact that our class was different. So yeah, so I think it's very important that we pick people that emit the sort of energy. So you need to ask yourself, what sort of energy do I emit? Are you the type of person that is naturally envious of other people rising? Because I've seen friends who, they want to be there, but they don't want you to come close. And once you're getting close, they find ways to pull you down. So if you're not like that, you'll get someone.
You're going to say something?
I said, you know, sometimes you are friends. When I was in uni, I think I was friends with someone who, it felt like we're in a competition. So, oh, I like your blouse. Where did you buy it? Ah, no, I can't tell you where I bought my blouse. So you can go and buy your own.
Jesus.
Okay.
I'm like, he's a blouse. And there's so many references, and I just knew that this was not, because we're not competing. We're not competing to have A. If I have an F, I know that I have an F because I didn't read.
Yeah.
So it's not. But you know,
I have a call. Reverend Sam, are you there?
Hello.
I thought it was Reverend Sam. Good morning, Rev. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this is Reverend Sam Otopa from Benin Tutuko.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
I think I love the topic. We are the bad friends, all complain about. And that is true. You know, everyone that God sent to us, there's an assignment in that person's.
We need that. I love that. Friends for a season.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned something like that, that there are different classes.
Yeah. So there was something we said out, when we were on break. I wanted to respond to it on, and we were saying something about how you prefer to have a friend of sort of the same level as you because it's easier to relate to that person. Yeah. And for me, I was saying that I don't agree with that because sometimes you start off maybe at the same level, but life happens and things change. And does that mean then I drop that person? You know, I've had situations when I have a very good friend who was going through issues that finally led to divorce. And I knew then I deliberately just kept my successes in my marriage away from her. And for me, I felt that was showing friendship. And that time, he didn't need to hear that you're doing so well, everything's working out. While she was here crying to me about what was, you know, really the breakdown of our own marriage. And so for me, I think you can show friendship in that way, that friendship will require of you sometimes to sacrifice, you know,
Let me
put
stay on
yourself.
that a bit, Mariam.
Okay.
Let me stay on that bit. So you're right. At that moment, it's important for you to be there for your friend.
Yes.
But as you grow, and where the friend now either has started dating other people or sometimes they're still in the issue of trying to resolve issues and you're still building. So 5 years have gone past and your kids are growing and things are different. Do you think at that level you still maintain that? Because at this, she's still at that level where she hasn't been able to move forward. So there's that frustration. And although you are there for her, at some point, maybe there might be some kind of resentment at some point.
Yeah, maybe on her side. But you have to work on yourself if you find yourself having that feeling. But there's this quote I like that Michelle Obama said, and I posted it on Instagram once. It says, we should always have 3 friends in our lives. One who we look up to and follow, one who is with us every step of our journey, and then one who we reach back for and bring along when we've cleared the way. You would have different kinds of people in your life. Categories. It does not mean you throw them away. And so that friendship for a season, for a reason. Yeah. There are people who come into your life for a reason. For some, it's for a season. You know, some will come for just a short term. Some will be there for a lifetime. Forever, for a lifetime. And you know, there's another one. There's some that will come when things are tough for you. And then when things become better for you, they're not there to enjoy it with you. You would look for those friends. Like, you were there with me when I was grinding. Where are you today? Right. So it just happens. But just make sure on your...
So if you have the friend who things are down for and your girlfriend is moving up the ladder, maybe can also help in humility, where you know that, okay, I can ask for help.
Yes.
Or if you don't ask for help, be where you are, but don't feel that, see,
we need to be open. Compare. Now you're now compare. Oh, is she talking good? Is she talking to me that way now because she's now
she's not living in
yes.
Or because
and then you come and like, is this your This is the house you normally come to. Then you come to the house like, you still have this table.
May I quickly say that people have their different personalities and their makeup, and that is what they bring to the friendship. So if you have someone who is naturally an envious person, she's not going to change because she's your friend. She may just smile, but then that envy is there because you see how she envies every other person that is not you. She wouldn't just show you her own. Now, if you have someone who naturally has a good spirit, like the way Morayo is now, Morayo naturally has a good spirit. She can be your friend any day, anytime, even if you're as high as this and she is here. Morayo will not envy you because that's not her person. So we need to still pay attention to the character, how people treat other people that they feel they are less than them. That will affect how you have your friendship.
We have to wrap up on this, but thank you very much.
You
have to wrap up.
We want to talk about her.
So know what she's working on.
We have to wrap up.
No. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll dig into what Mrs. Biodun Stephen is doing. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we still have our Nollywood producer, scriptwriter, director, Biodun Stephen with us in the building.
Woo!
So let's go back to the issue of industry. And I like that before we started this conversation, you had told us how young people can actually get involved in movies. What are some of the recent challenges that you're experiencing as a filmmaker, especially because everybody wants to be on television. Nobody wants to go through that grind and of learning the ropes. They just want to meet a Biodun Stephen and say, and get that star role. You know, what are those challenges you've seen, and how can we begin to fix them?
I mean, for every upcomer, the first question is, are you ready for fame when it comes? You know, because people don't tell you a lot of stuff. When you become famous, your life changes and, you know, completely. So it then becomes hard work for you to remain grounded. Hard work. And it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I've been in industry for 12, 14 years. It didn't happen overnight for me. I mean, I was so sure that my first film, because I got a nomination, I mean, best film West Africa, you were thinking, I don't blow. I don't blow to anywhere. You know, I still had to go back, go and learn, go and work, go and do PA, production, as just so that I wanted to understand what was it I did wrong in the first one. The film was successful. So why, I mean, you automatically just think that, oh, you made the name. It doesn't, you know, so people should be ready to do the work. And when the opportunity comes, I always say to people, make good use of it. Because, I mean, there's an adage that when the fan is blowing, you know, if it's a standing fan, it rotates. When the fan blows to your side, make good use of that breeze. A lot of people are not even ready for when the fan is coming. Talk more of making good use of the breeze when it blows. And also, again, to a lot of people who think that Nollywood is the best. For me, who wanted to be an actor so much, I became depressing that I was not getting roles. It took a lot for me to accept that my place was behind the camera and not in front of it. Wow. I'm in a position now where I can write a film for myself, produce it, shoot it. Now me, lead actor, you will watch it. Yes. But I'm not even in that space anymore. It took me I mean, you're watching TV and I'm crying, like, what am I doing that I can't do? Why am I not getting roles? Wow. I think I shared this with BC, you know. Now, what am I doing that they cannot do? And I was crying and I was depressed. And my husband said, okay, apart from acting, what else? Because I know that you write. You like to make film. Go to school, go and learn this thing. So by the time I was away to study and I was coming back, and even when I came back, I was still struggling for that front of camera. But until I accepted that my place was not in front of it, but behind it, did my success begin. And so a lot of people, I want to be in front, I want to be an actor, Maybe your place is not in front. Maybe your place is behind. And it will take you little effort to just be behind. And from there, you can then find your place in front.
So let me even build on this. How do you know that? So for you, it took a while. You had to cry sometimes. But people are in a position where they feel it's not coming. And this is all I want to do. Now, how do you put yourself in that position where you now start weighing your options? Do I love this? Do I love... How was the process for you, for somebody who may need it?
Because I've always been a writer, I mean, from my teenage years. But I didn't think that writing was... anything I could build. I mean, I wanted to be a star. I was too convinced. And the journey of making it in Hollywood is like, you know, when we were younger, when you ask somebody, what are you doing? I want to travel. You can be on that, I want to travel, 5 years. You are still on. It's an ambition. So, that's how the journey of Nollywood is. I'm into Nollywood as what? So while you are into Nollywood, I always say to a lot of people, learn something else in that Nollywood. Learn makeup, learn camera, learn continuity. It's such a massive industry. So that, because I have a lot of people in my crew members, my set designer, they're all actors. So when there is an opportunity for one scene, yeah, come and do it. Now, we did a film, Picture Perfect. 95% of the crew members were in the film. Now, we didn't think that Picture Perfect would ever spin into a series. So everybody had to come back now to come and act.
The acting has started for them.
And they started. The series has grown, the stories are growing, so they are getting more roles, more scene, more screen time. Just because the acting love was there. But they said, okay, while we are waiting for the big break, to come, let me learn costuming.
Is there also a place for, if it's yours, I mean, because me, I always have that, if it's yours, it will come naturally.
Oh, yes.
I remember when we started this show, I did not want to host the show. In fact, I did not, because I wanted to express my view. I'm the daughter of an activist. I have a viewpoint. Yes, this is the country, you know. So I was like, I wanted to be amongst those expressing views. I wanted somebody else to host the show. But I didn't want that. But unfortunately, 3 months after the person had to leave. The producer of the show said, Morayo, auntie, we are doing this thing. So it just happened naturally. So would you also say that if it is yours, somehow, naturally, to just come into place?
Oh, yes. And which is why I go back to what I said before. If it is just to happen, but be ready. Because that's also a possibility. Be ready. There are a lot of people who were acting, who've been doing, in fact, acting lead roles, nobody saw the movie. So again, you can be acting roles and nobody sees this film, nobody even notices you. It takes just one film to transform your life.
I'm just loving this conversation because you have touched on some very important key things. You talked about fame and the cost of fame. That's something we never talk about because for many people, fame is the end result. Fame is the blessing. Fame is the gift. But
fame is the beginning of the journey.
Yes. So could you explain to someone who, because the reason I want you to further explain this is there's some people who their end goal or their main goal is just to chase the fame. I want to go into this thing to be known that fame. What should they truly be chasing instead?
To be honest, chase if you love the craft. If you don't love the craft and you're loving the fame, you're in the wrong business. Because again, like I said, fame doesn't just happen with the first film. You can make 10 films and nobody notices you. And you do one film. And that might be after like 5 years. You know? And then when the fame comes, you need to be ready. Be very ready. I mean, I will not say to myself, oh, I'm famous. But in my church, I'm in the choir. And so yesterday when I was sharing my flyer, because in church, this is how I am. I will wear the choir uniform. I just wear the, I'm just there in the back, happy to be a backup singer, you know. So yesterday when I was sharing my flyers, oh my God, you have been Stephen. And I'm like, but I've been studying the film
for many years.
You pay, you don't know me. And again, it takes a lot of work to remind yourself that nothing has changed. Because making that is like a musician, making that one hit music. The next job, make the next hit now. That's the biggest one. It's not very easy. So you can make fame with one film. The next one, what if the next film is not as great? The third film is not as great. What happens? So you also need to be ready to, how can I then build up?
Sorry, can I stay on that for a minute? Because it's important we dissect it.
That.
So you made a film and you're famous. Everybody knows, okay, you are Joy, that's your name. Joy is the biggest star now because she was in this movie. Now, Joy, because of this movie, she's now become famous and everybody has followed her on social media. She now, the dressmakers are calling her, wear my dress, makeup artist, takes all the pictures. And then the next movies are coming and it's not getting big. And then Joy has now created this new lifestyle for herself as a famous person, and is not able to sustain it. And then she goes into depression because nobody's calling her again. Because
musicians, you see, one hit wonders and things like that.
And that happens. So it's knowing how to manage it, knowing that nothing has really changed. Yes. The movie became famous, but I'm still Joy. I'm still my person. Stay concise with where you are, because if you start blowing yourself up unnecessarily, you lose it. Yeah.
So, I wanted to take you back to the fact that many people ask questions. Their entire ambition is to be famous. You know, like, the goal is I want to be famous. I want to be on TV. I want to be a star. And to a large extent, many people come to me to mentor them. And yes, I'm on this show. And it wasn't sincerely to God. Like, I did not come to TVC, like, with the intention that I want to be a star. I'm going to be on a TV program and I'll be famous. It never crossed my mind. And so when people come with that, I want to be on TV to be a star, is it a good enough goal to have? Is it the right line of action for young people to aspire to? That secondary school leaver that has been watching all of us and says, I want to be like them, I want to be a star. What would you say to address such people?
There is nothing wrong with wanting to be famous. I mean, it's the road to fame. It's managing the fame afterwards. I mean, why do you want to be famous? The first question, why do you want to be famous? Is it because, make them just know me, make them just follow me? Is that one? Or it's because you want to use your fame to do something, you know, to impact something. Because there has to be a reason why. If it is just, oh, make them just follow me, make I just be nuisance, you know?
It won't last.
Let me come to what Moabudu said at the event, the last event, the co-staff. She said that we need more female directors. That there aren't enough in the industry. Lots of people would rather stay. We have quite a number of producers, but many female are not directing. You're also a director. How has that been for you, directing roles? And why is it difficult for women getting into that group of directors?
So when people ask me, oh, what were the challenges I faced being a female director? None. I'm 6'1". Let's start from there. I'm intimidating. I am big. It's gonna take you a while to want to challenge me. You know, I'm also street. So it's so I mean, the opportunity is there. And I said to people, a lot of people now, that now is such a good time to be knowledgeable because your talent and your skills counts for something. Back then, it don't matter. They will tell you lie on the chair. You know, but now it counts for something. And I know that there's a huge crop of new female directors coming up. As female directors, you just need to keep pushing, keep telling stories. Now nobody is humiliating or disrespecting you because you're female. Because people now has changed because people respect that. For you to say that I want to be a female, I want to be a director and you're female and you want to direct veterans, you know, and you stand toe to toe to them, say this is how I want you to interpret this scene. All they need to see is how you present yourself. So there are a number of them. Maybe they are not known yet, so maybe we should then start something about an association so that we can all take record of, because I've seen quite a number of female directors. Oh, quite a number. From 2 years ago to now, I've seen quite a number. They may not have made, you know, the films that are very popular, but if you watch, you know, some of these other platforms, and you see, most people don't even wait for the end credit to see who told this film. People just say, oh, be in this film. Now she get the film. No.
There are people working behind the scenes. Yeah, let's talk about your new movie, The Breaded Life. Like, I saw the flick and I was blown away. As usual, I'd seen The Visit, and I've seen this one that Bisola was in.
Ovi's Voice.
No, not Ovi's Voice. The one, I saw it in the cinema. I think we saw it together. I can't remember. With the Yoruba guy now.
Oh, Picture Perfect.
Picture Perfect. Yes. And I realized that you use quite a number of cast, very few, to portray your message, but then we get intimate with the cast. Did you do the same thing in The Breaded Life? What's the difference here now?
So we had quite a chunk of people in there. However, who were the carriers of the story? It's really just two people. Because again, it's not all. I like to do intimate film, but it's not always. It doesn't always work every time for every story. You know. So with Joba, for instance, we're only about 3 people or 4 people in Joba, the entire 2-hour-length film. But in this one, we had quite a number of people. But it was carrier of the film was Chimini and Bimba Ademoye.
Yeah. And they carried it well.
110.
Wow.
I mean, everybody, I've known Timini for quite a while, and everybody's a fresh boy, fine boy, always playing,
and then you made him
boy. And I said, Timini, You will still play the sports boy.
But
your life is going to change drastically at some point in the film. And with Bimbo is such a delight. Bimbo is, what else can you do? What else have we not tried with you? And that was what we tried with Todowede, her character. She's an Egun bread seller. And she, by herself, I mean, which I respect a lot, brought a dialogue coach. She paid herself, you know,
for real?
And said, teach me how to sound, how to be like this character. And it was such a joy, you know, to work with them. Bisola Yola, I've always known to be really, really talented. I said, Bisola, we are not doing Yoruba, we are doing Igbo. She always speaks this fake Igbo accent, you know, but I'm like, you know, let's bring that on screen. And of course, Nilobi came back to be Jobe. And Lateef Adedibi, somebody I think that people don't know how much that guy has, you know. So when we talked about Komabi Juguno in this film, he was really happy. And everybody delivered.
I like the twist to the story. You know, many times one of the challenges I've had with Nigerian movie is that we don't have conversations. Like, it's just... Dialogue. Our dialogue is weak. We just have, like, surface, we just do small gist, and then there's a lot of drama. Hey, clapping.
Have you eaten?
I say, you know.
Have you eaten?
Yes.
What will you eat?
We don't have those dialogue strength, like intellectual stuff like that.
I think that at the core, because bread is at the core of this, but bread is such a used significantly. Bread represents survival, hustle, bread as in money, bread as in well-bred, success. So it's just at the core of this, and it's a satire on, I mean, it touches on so many things, and how do we work as parents? We leave a legacy, and we forget to raise our children to sustain that legacy.
Exactly.
I was going to say, give us a sneak peek on how you guys make money. I mean, because these movies, because they come out and there's a lot of noise. Before COVID, there was cinema revenue, everybody go out there. That has reduced a bit because of the COVID. How else do you expect to make your returns from this?
I think at the end of the day, for filmmakers, we need to keep reinventing. Thankfully, cinema is now back at about 80%, you know, so we're happy that we're going back to cinemas. Then there's so many platforms, online platforms, VOD platforms, and also in-flights. And you can also, in-flights, yes. Wow. So, you know, I mean,
they pay for that?
Yes, it's paid for. It's paid for. And you can also do screenings, you know, private screenings, you know, with VIPs.
VVVIP.
Yeah, VIPs, VVVIP, VVVVV. So you have to keep looking for ways to reinvent and to create money.
Okay, so I'm taking you back to what you said earlier about the symbolism of bread in your latest movie. And you're just saying, you know, different things, the nuances and all that. Sometimes Nigerians say, when you get too academic or too intelligent in your dialogue and your script, you lose the Nigerian audience. Is that the case, or is it just that we don't push ourselves enough?
I think that the goal of any, I mean, I did a bit of advertising before I started making film, and the goal of any product that you're trying to sell, you need to be able to sell it to the layman. Good. The layman. So you can always sound as deep, and I mean, why did we have all these proverbs? These proverbs are deep, you know. Yes. But when you peel them back, you realize that they're loaded with so many. So they sound very silly, you know. Now waiting adults, something.
Sit down for.
It sounds silly, but
if you stand,
peel it back. There's a lot of layers. So there are ways that we can still, you know, convey these messages, you know, while keeping it simple, so that at least the layman, anybody at all, can understand it.
Biko, how do you get inspiration for your scripts? Because your stories are very deep, sweet, and that's the word, sweet. So how do you go to the mountain or something? Oh my God!
No, I draw from my experiences. I was orphaned very early, so I lived with people. I had different experiences, so I draw from all of them: my highs, my lows, my joys. I don't count anything as, I've learned to turn my pain into stories. So if I'm sad, I write it down. And then when I go back to my diary, okay, this happened. This can be a good film, you know? So I try to turn my joys and everything around. And then from this small conversation,
You don't get story.
I pick story. Oh. My husband is afraid to give me gist. It tells me something, I've written it down.
So you're inspired by everything.
Everything.
Yes, I have Lisa Bond who says, I agree with Toyin Abraham, what we were discussing earlier. I was the bad friend in the midst of my crew. I used to wonder why I don't get along with them. Then later found out that I was the odd one out. I hardly apologized, which made me the bad friend.
Well, Rolake O says, Biodu Stephen is one of the best script writers, directors that I love to watch her movies repeatedly. Her films are top-notch, and she uses very few but excellent cast. The use of selective English words in her films are educative. Bilikis Morenike says, I love your humility, ma'am. That's you. You're so grounded and do not wear your success on your head. Many people might not acknowledge it, but I believe your humility is a backdrop for your accomplishments. You're focused and brilliant at what you do. Funny too.
Oh my God.
You said that
Only me. Wow.
We love you though, and I want you to know that we appreciate the work you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me.
For our viewers,
Please go see Better Life is out in the cinemas today, everywhere. Please go see it. And always remember that when the fan is blowing to you, be ready to make good use of the breeze.
It is full blowing. Make good use of it. All right, that's all we can take on the show. Thank you very much again for joining us. Have a great weekend. See you Monday. Bye for now.